Hello students, welcome to aimstoday online classes. This is a chemistry session. In this, we are discussing about weather and climate chapter. In this session, we are going to say about the measuring components of weather. What are the different components of weather and how to measure those components we are going to see in this session. We have different types of measuring instruments to measure different weather components like temperature, rainfall, wind speed, humidity, etc. These we call as elements of weather or components of weather. So these all can be measured by using different kinds of instruments. Different types of instruments are there to measure these components or elements of weather because these will be changing time to time. So because weather conditions will be changing in a particular place time to time or day to day or hour to hour. They may change. So what is a particular condition in a place? About these conditions we can measure by using different instruments. Let us know how to measure these weather components by using different instruments in this session. First, let us see the measuring of temperature of a place. We know the temperature will be varying in a place time to time. So how to measure this temperature? Now let us see. The temperature will be changing during a day, isn't it? All through the day, temperature won't be same. We know the temperature is low in the early morning. We find it whatever the season. Generally, the temperature in the early morning will be low. It will be very pleasant breezing also will be there. Air blow with presence. Very cool air will be there in the morning hours. So temperature will be less and increases by noon. Yes, as the sun starts shining, temperature in the atmosphere also increases. By noontime, temperature will be very high, and it starts decreasing towards the evening. So, and it is a cyclic incantation. It continues cyclically, isn't it? We observe these conditions. We have who might have experienced these conditions of temperature in a day. In the morning hours, it will be cool. By the afternoon time or noon time, it will be very hot. Again, by the evening, the temperature starts decreasing. Okay. The instrument used to measure the temperature of a place is thermometer. Actually, thermometer is one of the instruments which is used to measure temperature of a place or a human. Even for finding the temperature of a human body also, we use thermometers, isn't it? In our homes also or in the hospitals, we find these mercury thermometers. So that is the instrument which is used to find the temperature of a body or a place. And to find the temperature of a particular place, specifically the instrument used for calculating or measuring the highest and lowest temperatures of a particular place in a particular day is called maximum minimum thermometer. In our homes or hospitals, we use certain kind of thermometer, which is also it is made up of some glass and containing mercury inside. That is generally used for measuring the body temperature. And there are particularly specially designed thermometers which are used for measuring the maximum and minimum temperatures of a place in a particular time are called maximum minimum thermometers. These are specially designed, not like normal temperature thermometers. Scientists six invented this maximum minimum thermometer to measure the highest and lowest temperatures of a place. Yes, it is the instrument which is used to measure the maximum and minimum temperatures of a place in a particular time. So it was invented by the scientist six. See how it is a thermometer. From this, at the same time, we can find both maximum and minimum temperatures of a particular place. in particular time too. So this maximum minimum thermometer consists of a cylindrical tube, U-shaped tube, a tube it is there. Did you find it? Yes, this U-shaped tube is a thermometer, which is connected to a bulb A at one end. Okay, and the other end there is a bulb B. So these are filled with alcohol. These red columns are alcohol. Here there is some vacuum. Okay, what they have, this consists of a cylindrical bulb A connected through a U-shaped tube and to a spherical bulb B. Both of that are containing alcohol. And at the bottom of this U-shaped tube, there is mercury. This is mercury as they have shown. And these red columns are alcohol. Bulb A and bulb B, they are containing alcohol. And there is some vacuum inside the bulb B. Now what happens? When this is kept in a place, when the temperature increases, the alcohol in the bulb A expands. See, this red column we told as alcohol. So this red bulb A containing some alcohol, on the increase in temperature, the alcohol present in that will expand. So what happens then? So this alcohol will occupy more space in this tube. Then the mercury in the U tube goes up to the bulb B side. So this mercury will come down and will move towards the B bulb side. It rises here the column. And the indicator I1 also moves up. Here an indicator is kept in between this mercury and alcohol. So that our indicator also will move up. This indicates maximum temperature of the day. So the indicator kept in the second side or right side tube indicates the maximum temperature. How it is showing here, when temperature increases, the alcohol present in the bulb A expands. When it expands, what happens? It occupies more space in the left side U tube. So it comes down. When it comes down, mercury will be pushed towards the other tube. The column height of mercury will be raised in the second tube at the right side. So there the indicator also moves up. This indicator here at the right side tube indicates the maximum temperature of the day. Again, if the temperature decreases, what happens then? The alcohol present at the left side in the bulb A, it contracts, means occupies less volume again. So it goes up. This mercury will goes up into the bulb A. Then the mercury also moves along with that to the right side, left side. It rises in the left side tube. Mercury in the U tube goes to the A bulb side. It moves up here. So here also the indicator moves up along with the mercury column. So this here the indicator whatever it is there that indicates the minimum temperature of the day. So in this way, maximum temperature and minimum temperature of a day are noted by using this maximum minimum thermometer. Did you understand how it is working? It is having U-shaped tube which is having some mercury at the bottom. In the two sides of this U-shaped tube, two bulbs are connected which are filled with alcohol. Now, when it is kept outside, the bulb A containing alcohol, that alcohol will expand and it pushes down the mercury. So the mercury column in the other side will rise up and there will be an indicator at the top of this mercury column which indicates the highest temperature or the maximum temperature of the particular day. And again, when temperature decreases in that place, what happens then? The expanded alcohol in the bulb A starts contracting again. It starts occupying less volume. As it is moving up, along with that, this mercury also moves up towards the bulb A. Here also, there will be an indicator on the top of this mercury column, which indicates the minimum temperature of the day. For complete contraction of this alcohol, there will be some standing of this mercury column that indicates the minimum temperature of the day. In this way, maximum temperature and minimum temperature are calculated or measured by using maximum minimum thermometer. After taking the readings, like maximum and minimum temperature readings, after taking these two, the indicators I1 and I2 both are brought to their original places by using a magnet. So these two will be brought to some level, certain level, to similar level by using a magnet. Okay, in this way, the temperature is measured. If the temperature of a body is to be measured, we use generally normal mercury thermometers. If we want to calculate or measure the temperature of a particular place in a particular day, we use a specially designed thermometer called maximum minimum thermometer. It is containing two kinds of liquids. One it is mercury and other one is alcohol. It is a U-shaped tube which is having at the left side and right side two bulbs connected at the edges. And the left side bulb contains completely alcohol. Second side it contains some vacuum along with alcohol. So this alcohol expands on increasing temperature and it contracts on cooling temperature. Because of that, there will be variations in the columns of mercury. So from that, we take the measurements of this maximum and minimum temperatures of a day. Okay. Next, measuring rainfall. How do you measure rainfall? Farmers estimate the rainfall based on the wetness of the soil after rain. Yes, generally farmers in their farms, they'll estimate the rainfall, how far it rainfall occurred, whether heavy rain or light rain. They'll measure or estimate this rainfall based upon the wetness of the soil in their farms. This is called Padunu. Generally, they will call this as Padunu. This much of rainfall is sufficient to start agricultural activities like plowing. But actually, this is an approximate measure. We cannot say there's this exact measurement by observing the soil in the farms. We cannot say it is exact. Just it is approximate measure. This will be done by farmers just by observing the wetness of the soil. So the pattern will be estimated and they will start their cultivational works. If this rainfall occurs in the right time, in rural areas, the people or farmers celebrate crop festivals, isn't it? I think we might have observed this in the villages. If this rainfall occurs at right time, which helps the farmers in cultivation, so then they will celebrate this if it happens at the right time, so that they can start their works and they can start this cultivation on fields, isn't it? Yes. In general, meteorologists measure the rainfall by using a special instrument called rain gauge. This is rain gauge. So farmers, what they do, generally they'll estimate the rainfall just by observing the wetness in the soil. But it is not exact measurement, just it is a rough measurement. To know exactly how far it rained, so there is a special instrument which is used to measure the rainfall, that is called rain gauge, which is also called as ombrometer or pulvinometer, which expressed generally, this rainfall is generally expressed in centimeters or millimeters. So by using this rain gauge, we can estimate how far it rained in a particular day or in a particular place. So this is the instrument. If you observe the instrument here, it is having a cylindrical measuring jar. It is a cylindrical measuring jar which has measurements on it with centimeters and millimeters. And it is connected to a funnel. A funnel is kept at the top of this cylindrical tube measuring jar. Now, if it is kept in the rain in a particular place, it starts collecting rainwater through the funnel and it will be collected into this measuring jar. So the height of the water collected in this measuring jar gives the content or extent of rainfall in that particular area. Generally, this is measured in centimeters or millimeters. Often, you might have observed in the news, they will be announcing the extent of rainfall in a particular area. It is, we will be hearing these words. It rained 11 centimeters of rain or 10 millimeters of rain, like this. So, rainfall is measured in centimeters or millimeters. Okay, in this way, rainfall is measured by using rain gauge. This rain gauge is also called as ombrometer or pulvinometer. Okay, and we also can prepare this rain gauge at our home also just by using some measuring jar and even a funnel. We can keep some measurings on a funnel or glass tube like this, and you can connect a funnel on the top of this, and if you keep it in the rain, this funnel collects rainwater, and the column or the height of the water column collected in the measuring jar gives the extent of rainfall. Okay, next, measuring the direction of wind. Yes, the wind direction also can be measured or predicted. We can use a variety of tools to determine the direction of the wind. Yes, we can use different kinds of tools to measure the or to determine the direction of wind. One of them is wind sock. Wind socks. Wind socks are very basic devices that measure wind direction and provide a rough idea of the wind's intensity also. That means wind speed also can be measured with a rough idea. This is a wind sock. Actually, this wind sock is a tubular piece of fabric, like a tube. It is a made up of fabric and it appears like a tube at both the ends open. Or it is also made with a thin flexible fabric also. So it will be attached to a pole. It is attached to a pole and it will be flexible to move in all directions. So this tubular piece will be moving in the direction of wind, and it blows with a high height. The speed of the wind is much. Of course, if your wind is moving very slowly, it may come down like this. Wind is moving very fast, it will move like this in the direction of wind. So in this way, not only the direction of wind, we also can find, or we also can measure the wind's intensity also. The speed of the wind also can be measured by using this wind socks. Wind socks is a simple device which is made up of a tubular piece of fabric, and it also made with a thin flexible fabric also. Just by attaching to this to a pole can be made to use this to find this direction of the wind. Okay, one more instrument, that is a wind vane. A wind vane works similar to a wind sock. Instead of a tubular sock, the weather vane is made by placing a horizontal pole at the top of the vertical pole. Yes, instead of using tubular sock, if we use a horizontal pole, on the vertical pole, then it gives a weather vane. See here, a horizontal pole, a vertical pole is taken. On the top of this vertical pole, a horizontal pole is fixed. The poles are joined together such that the horizontal pole can move independently of the structure base on the structure base. So it is fixed here. This horizontal pole is fixed here on this vertical pole so that this can move in all the directions in the flexible way. As per the wind movement, this will be moved into the particular direction. So this direction of wind can be measured or predicted by using this weather vane also. Wind vane or weather vane it is called. Okay, it is also one of the simple instruments or devices just like the wind sock. In the wind sock we use a tubular sock. Instead of that, in this weather vane, it is a one more pole on this vertical pole. So here the importance is it is fixed to this vertical pole in such a way that this can move in all directions. It has some flexibility to move along all the directions according to the wind movement. Okay, this is about weather vane. One more, one more instrument used to find wind direction is a anemometer. So an anemometer is any device that measures wind direction and even intensity also. It may be simple such as the devices described earlier like a wind vane, weather vane or wind sock. It also a simple device, and it may be sometimes complex also, and even it works with computer aided machines that measures and records the wind pattern accurately over a time. So to get accurate wind speed and wind directions, generally they use these anemometers. It is the most accurate one. Sometimes it is made with the simple devices, just like the wind vane and weather vane and wind sock. And it also can be made by connecting with the computer aided devices to get accurate values, accurate measurements. Okay, it is anemometer. They're also used to monitor the ideal conditions for spacecraft launches, not only for finding the direction of wind and intensity of wind. They use this instrument to monitor the ideal conditions for spacecraft launches and as surviving tools, then prospecting for wind generated power stations. So there also they use this anemometers before the spacecraft launches. They use this to observe the wind position. Okay. Next, measuring humidity of a place. Yes, humidity of a place also can be measured. The water, when water is heated, it changes to water vapor. The vapor enters into air. In the same way, seawater changes into vapor due to heating by the sun. Yes, this is a natural phenomenon actually to say. But now, in the laboratory or in our home, if you heat water, what happens? It starts changing into vapor form, and this vapor enters into air. Not only by heating, this entering water vapor into air occurs even naturally also from the natural water bodies like rivers, oceans, seas. From these all, water will be changing into water vapor form continuously. This is natural phenomenon, and this water vapor will enter and mixes with atmospheric air. So this happens naturally by the heat of sun. No need to heat anybody here. Quantity of moisture in the air is the humidity of the place. Actually, the humidity is defined as the quantity of water vapor present in the air or the quantity of moisture present in a particular area. It's called humidity. It feels more sweaty when humidity is high. When more water vapor is present in the atmosphere, we feel more sweaty. This occurs naturally at high temperatures. If the temperature is high, what happens then? More amount of water evaporates from the water bodies and converts into humidity form or water vapor form. So this causes to more sweating. So an instrument used to measure this humidity is called hygrometer. Hygrometers are the instruments used for measuring humidity. Okay, there are different elements of weather, and these are the methods of measuring elements of weather or components of weather. Okay, thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our YouTube channel Aims Today for latest updates on recorded videos. Thank you.